Cheryl Todd here from Gun Freedom Radio, coming at you from the 2019 SHOT Show in fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada. And I am sitting down with my friend Ashley Hlebinsky. She is the curator in charge of the Cody Firearms Museum, which is kind of a big deal. So, a little bit. So tell folks who maybe have been living in a cave and don't know what the Cody Firearms Museum is.
Okay. So the Cody Firearms Museum is one of the largest gun museums in the country. We've got about 7,000 firearms dating all the way back to the 1200s and going all the way up through 2017, I think, is our most recent manufactured firearm. And so we are totally redoing it, though, because we interpret hundreds and hundreds of years of gun history. We want to display as many guns as possible in the collection, but then we also want to do a lot for an audience that we have that really doesn't know anything about guns. So the new museum is going to be the balance between, what the enthusiast wants to see, but then also, firearms basics, firearms safety, proper firearms handling, and really the history behind all of these artifacts.
Absolutely. Now this isn't like, well, we're going to take a wall out here and, bring in a new display. You guys pretty much gutted the entire museum and started over.
Full on gut. We gutted the whole museum, and we added a stairwell between the two floors, which I'm really excited about. Before we had like a very rickety elevator that would break a lot, and then nobody could see the lower level. So we built the stairwell, and basically we kept the footprint of the museum, but everything else had to go. And we rebuilt it, new walls, new construction spots for it, and it's totally, totally new.
It's amazing. We were there before, I think any of the construction started. And I remember standing in a place and you said, you see this right here? And all of us who were there said, yeah, it's like carpeting on the floor. And you go, yeah, right now it's carpeting. Next week, it's a hole that is the stairwell.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to get back over there this year. Now, when does the renovation end and the new grand opening begin?
So the grand opening is July 6th of this year. I keep saying July 6th, 2019, and then I realize it is 2019. Yeah. But we actually started installing the museum in a few months. So we'll do a soft opening in June, but we're not saying what day, just because you know how construction works.
Oh, yes.
And we want to be able to be open by early June, but we might still be moving some stuff. And we're doing a big weekend-long grand opening celebration right after the 4th of July, which is a really big deal in Cody, Wyoming.
Yes.
And it's just going to be a great weekend.
Oh, I'm so excited. And you've got on your website, kind of like some renderings of what people can expect, that sort of thing. How would they get to that website?
Well, our website is centerofthewest.org, but if you want to kind of watch the antics of what we're doing, you go on our social media accounts.
Yes.
So you can go on the Cody Firearms accounts. We've got Cody Firearms Museum on Facebook and Instagram. We also have Cody Firearms on Twitter. Couldn't fit the whole museum name in there. And if you want to get real weird, we do have a Reddit account. And if you want to see some of the other stuff that's less gun-oriented and more just the process, you can follow my social media, which is just Ashley Hlebinsky. Google it, then learn how to spell it, on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. So you got to get a little bit of both if you go to both pages.
Absolutely. And it really is important to keep the history of firearms alive. And it's becoming a little bit more difficult, as years go on, and, then there's, different laws that come into place and that sort of thing. And then you're there to help make sure that the Firearms Museum is still legal, safe, it's all of those things. So even if somebody's kind of like, I'm just not sure about guns kind of frighten me a little bit, I think that the Cody Firearms Museum is a perfect place to just kind of, be able to experience them and learn more about them.
Well, and the interesting thing about our museum is our museum's apolitical, like most museums in the country. We're 501c3, and so we don't really, take a side. It's not my job to tell you what to think. It's my job to give you enough information to make an informed decision. We actually do have a comprehensive legislation timeline in our new museum, but that's really kind of the unique thing of what we can do is we talk to all kinds of people, and history really is a unifier. I work with people all over the political spectrum, and people always agree that firearms history is such a valid area of study, even if we don't come to the same conclusions from that history. And so it's neat to be able to have something that can reach to such a diverse audience.
Absolutely. I mean, firearms are technology, right? They're artwork a lot of times. Some of the etched in
Embellishments,
signs, and just seeing how one man's idea and patent then spawned another man's idea and patent and that sort of thing. It's just really, it is inspiring, and you don't really have to even care about what the technology is to appreciate to be able to see the progression.
Well, and that's one thing we also worked on in the new museum is a lot of people will say, well, there's nothing for me in there. I'm not interested in guns. And so in the new museum, as you walk up to the front of it, there's actually something we're calling collection connections. And it's things and brands that you don't traditionally associate with guns that started off with guns or had some connection to it. So we've got an Abercrombie & Fitch holster and belt for the store that was started in 1882, I believe, in New York City. It was an outdoor store.
I just learned something. I did not know that.
And we've got a Louisville Slugger M1 carbine stock. The company that makes Louisville Sluggers, they were one of the many companies that got into the gun business during World Wars. And then we've also got a shotgun that belonged to Henry Ford. And we tell that story because Henry Ford actually visited the Winchester factory in the early 1900s, applied those techniques to his Highland Park factory in Detroit. So there is this interconnection that even if you're not necessarily interested in guns, you may find something. No, I can guarantee you'll find something in the museum that will spark your interest. And as we say at the beginning of the museum, we've got a really brief kind of statement in that we really want this museum to be your foundation to spark discussion beyond the walls.
Oh, I love that. It's brilliant and it's beautiful. And Cody is a quaint and beautiful area, and it's right next to Yellowstone.
Yeah.
Right?
So, right next to 50 miles,
Yeah. So bring the family. It really is a family place. And then it's part of, the Center of the West is part of, or the Cody Firearms Museum is part of a bigger complex.
So if you come to the Cody Firearms Museum, you're actually coming to the overarching organization, the Buffalo Bill Center of the West, which is 5 museums and a full-scale research library. It's a 2-day admission. And so if you want to go see the guns for a little bit, but you want to go spend time in the Art Museum or the Plains Indian Museum, it's all right there on site. And so we see a lot of the people splitting up, but we're hoping more people will go in together to the Firearms Museum.
And who doesn't want to see the newest, latest, and greatest, right? New and improved. Who doesn't love that?
Not a lot of people, I guess.
Well, thank you so much. I know this is a busy week at SHOT Show, and I appreciate you so much because you are helping to pass the baton forward to future generations. I mean, that is our legacy. And the more that people know and understand about our history, connected to the firearm or not connected to the firearm, the better off we all are.
Exactly.
So thank you so much.
Ashley
Hlebinsky, curator in charge of the Cody Firearms Museum. Stick around, we have much more coming up from 2019 SHOT Show on Gun Freedom Radio.